Hello everyone, it's Jen from Old Tinkerer Studio. In this tutorial, we will be making a low poly fantasy runestone. This will be a two-part series. In the first part of the series, we modeled and sculpted the runestone. In the second part of the series, we will be baking the UV maps from the high poly model to the low poly model and applying textures. We will also be importing an instance of the model into the Godot Game Engine. Please note that this tutorial is using Blender 2.81. Open the model you made from part 1 of this tutorial series. If you still have the mask active on the model, use Alt-M to clear the mask. Under the UV workspace, unwrap the high poly model using the Smart UV Project. Export the UV. Tab into Object Mode and duplicate the high poly model. Rename the duplicate Retopology. Hide the high poly model and select the retopology model. Then under the sculpting workspace, we're going to remesh the retopology model to make it less dense and more of a low poly model. I'm going to use 0.1, but it may be different for you. The idea is to have the lowest number of quads possible while maintaining the overall shape of the model. Under the UV workspace, unwrap the retopology model and then save the UV. Tab into Object Mode. Then split the left side of the screen into two areas. In the bottom area, open the shader editor. This is what used to be called the node editor. With the retopology model selected, add an image texture node. Then in the UV editor area, make a new UV image and rename it UV normal. Now open the UV normal image in the image texture node. Change the color space to non-color. Then unhide your high poly model. Make sure that both models are overlapping each other. You can do this by making sure that the location is set to 0. Select your high poly model. Then select your retopology model. Then under the Render tab, switch to Cycles, and you can use GPU if you have it. Twirl open the baking section. Set the bake type to normal. Enable selected to active. Twirl open the option. Set your ray distance to 1. Then click on bake. If you have any other colors other than the blue purple, try changing your ray distance to get a better bake. For this tutorial, I'll keep the bake that I have, even though it's showing a little bit of red areas. Once you're happy with your bake, save the normal map. Now hide your high poly model and select your retopology model. Download a stone texture that you want to use. The link to the one I'm using is in the description. Under the shading workspace, add a new material. We'll just call it stone. Tab into edit mode and assign the stone material. Using the Node Wrangler add-on, use Ctrl-T. This will give us the node setup that we need. Then open up the color image from the downloaded texture. And you can change the scale if needed. Now add a second image texture. And open up the baked normal map. Add a normal map node. Connect the color output from the image texture node to the color input of the normal map node. Connect the normal output of the normal map node to the normal input of the BSDF principled shader. Now go to the Filters drop-down menu and choose Disable in Renders. Then disable the rendering for the high poly model. In the UV area, open up the retopology UV. Add an image texture node. And open the retopology UV. Under the Render tab, twirl open the Bake section. Change the Bake type to Combined. And deselect Selective to Active. Now make sure that you have a good 3-point lighting set up, so when you bake everything will look nice and be legible. Then click on Bake. And don't forget to save the baked UV. And don't forget to save your file. Now we are going to be importing this model into the Godot Game Engine. With the retopology model selected, export the model as an OBJ file. Make sure that you have Selection Only checked. Make an empty folder for a Godot project. You can just put it on your desktop. Open up Godot. And if you've never used this before, you can just click on Cancel since there's no need to open the asset library. Choose New Project. Then give your project a name. Then hit Browse and choose the folder that you just made. Then select Create and Edit. Now right-click any object in the file system and choose Show in File Manager. Now what you need to do is drag the two exported files from the OBJ object and the baked retopology UV into the Godot project folder. Now you should have everything listed under the file system that you just dragged in. Since this is a 3D model, we want to choose 3D scene. Then drag the model into the scene. Select the model. Twirl open the transform options. And change all the translation values to 0 to center the model. Now twirl open the materials section. And then choose New Spatial Material. Click on the New Spatial Material, which is this little sphere. Twirl open the albedo option. And drag your baked UV onto the texture node. And there you have a fantasy runestone that you can use in Godot Game Engine. I hope you found this useful. Have a good day.